Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is CJUFCPicks, the Smoke Sesh. Welcome to another great episode of CJUFCPicks. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and tell everyone you know about CJUFCPicks. We do giveaways, we break down UFC fights, we give you free picks, free bets, and free money right here on this channel, CJUFCPicks. We surpassed our goal. We're at 540 subscribers right now as we speak, and we hope to get more. So make sure to subscribe, make sure to like the video, and we hope you enjoy the show. Also, if you haven't already, make sure to roll one up right here with us on the Smoke Sesh. I have some Bear Claw right now. And let me tell you, this stuff right here is fire. Tonight, we are breaking down UFC Fight Night, Ankalaev versus Walker 2. This is a rebooked fight from last year due to the disqualification call on that fight. This fight is going down on Saturday, January 13th, 2024. So in a couple weeks, we're going to return to some UFC fights, and I cannot wait. This is a very solid card to start off 2024 for the UFC. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into it for the first fight of the night. First fight of the night is scheduled in the men's flyweight division. We have Felipe Bunes versus Joshua Van. Felipe Bunes, he's 13-6, 34 years old, 5'7", 71-inch reach. Joshua Van, he's 9-1, 22 years old, 5'5", with a 65-inch reach. This is a really good fight to start off UFC Fight Night, Vegas 84. But let me just light this one up, folks. This is the Smoke Sesh for a reason. We gotta smoke. We gotta smoke and talk about these fights. It's been a while. All right. Felipe Bunes, 13-6. He's on a 2-fight winning streak, winning his last 2 fights in the LFA. So this is his UFC debut at 34 years old. Kind of a red flag right there. Kind of old to making your UFC debut. Joshua Van, I believe he's stepping up on a short notice here. I believe Felipe Bunes was going to fight Dennis Bonder. And I guess Dennis Bonder pulled out of that fight. Joshua Van, he is on a really, really nice winning streak. Only 1 loss on his record. He did win his UFC debut against Zhalgas Zhumagulov, and he did win against Kevin Borges. He's on a 2-fight winning streak in the UFC, minus 200 favorite. That's a little bit wide because Joshua Van's still a little bit unproven. He's still young, only 22 years old. He does have a height disadvantage and a reach disadvantage, but I don't think that's going to matter here because Joshua Van has one of the best boxing skills in the flyweight division. The dude is a really young prospect, and he's going to be an up-and-coming star in the UFC. He's already number 25 in the flyweight division, which is very, very impressive. Give me Joshua Van to win by decision. My confidence level is a 7 out of 10. All right, ladies and gentlemen, next fight. Scheduled in the men's lightweight division, we have Tom Nolan versus Nikolas Motta. Tom Nolan, undefeated at 6-0, 23 years old, 6'3", 76-inch reach. Nikolas Motta, he's 13-5, 30 years old, 5'9", 70.5-inch reach. Tom Nolan making his UFC debut, coming after that big KO victory against Bogdan Grad on the Contender Series. Nikolas Motta has not been looking good his last few fights. He had a draw against Trey Ogden, and we all know he was going to lose that fight. Trey Ogden did or was about to submit him, and he did lose against Manel Torres by KO TKO. His last win was against Cameron Van Camp. We all know Cameron Van Camp ain't that great. And then he lost again against Jim Miller, who I believe is on this card. And he won against Joseph Alori on the Contender Series 3 years ago. And I think he's going to lose this fight. Nikolas Motta, I think he's only a one-round fighter, a one-round bust fighter. If he doesn't do it in one round, he's going to lose this fight. Thomas Nolan, 6'3". He's going to have a significant height advantage and a 6-inch reach advantage. That is crazy. I think he's going to continue his undefeated streak. He's going to win his debut in the UFC against Nikolas Motta. Tom Nolan is the pick. My confidence level is a 6 just because he's still unproven and just because this is his UFC debut. Nikolas Motta can come in here and get an upset, but I don't think that's going to happen. So give me Thomas Nolan, and I think he gets it done inside the distance, knockout, TKO, or submission. Next fight, ladies and gentlemen, scheduled in the men's featherweight division, we have Westin Wilson versus Gene Silva. Westin Wilson, he is 16-8, 34 years old, 6'1", 73-inch reach. Gene Silva, 11-2, 27 years old, 5'7", 69-inch reach. Westin Wilson, a plus 550 underdog. That's crazy. Gene Silva, minus 800 favorite. That line is way too off. Even though I think Gene Silva, excuse me, sorry. Even though I think Gene Silva does win this fight, he did win his Contender Series about 3 months ago against Kevin Bolaños. Westin Wilson lost his UFC debut against Joe Anderson Brito. I like Brito, and we all know Brito is a killer. So that's not a bad loss. I do think the line is way off. I'm staying away money line wise, but I do think Gene Silva does win this fight. He is a much better fighter in my opinion, but the money line, that minus 800, is no bueno. So give me Gene Silva to win, probably by decision. Yeah, Westin Wilson, almost 35 years old when this fight happens, and this is his second UFC fight in his career, going against the debuting Gene Silva. Gene Silva by decision. Confidence level is a 6.5, maybe even a 7 out of 10. Next fight, ladies and gentlemen, scheduled in the men's bantamweight division, we have Farid Basharat versus Taylor Lapilus. Farid Basharat, undefeated at 11-0, 26 years old, 5'8", 71-inch reach. Taylor Lapilus, 19-3, 31 years old, 5'6", 73-inch reach. This is going to be a very good fight, very close fight. Farid Basharat, though, the dude is someone to look out for. Very young prospect, undefeated at 11-0. His line is not too bad, minus 175. Going against Taylor Lapilus, he's got a nice winning streak going on. And he's only 31 years old, his prime, 19-3, and he's won all of his UFC fights. Same thing for Farid Basharat. He's won all of his UFC fights. But I'm going with the more dangerous fighter, the undefeated fighter, the better ranked fighter, Farid Basharat to win inside the distance. KO, TKO, or submission for Farid Basharat to win. My confidence level is a 7.5 out of 10. I love his line minus 175. I did make a bet on Farid a couple weeks ago when the lines first dropped, and I think I got him at like minus 145 if I'm not mistaken. So I did beat some line movement there. But minus 175, still not a bad line. I will still bet that and put him in a parlay if you guys feel comfortable. Next fight, ladies and gentlemen, is gonna be a banger, and I do not expect this fight to go the distance. Scheduled in the men's bantamweight division, we have Marcus McGhee versus Gaston Bolaños. Marcus McGhee, 8-1, 33 years old, 5'8", 69-inch reach. Gaston Bolaños, 7-3, 31 years old, 5'7", 69-inch reach. Marcus McGhee riding a 4-fight winning streak, minus 325 favorite. Gaston Bolaños, 7-3, and a plus 250 underdog, riding a 2-fight winning streak. He did win against Aaron Phillips in his UFC debut, and then he won against Daniel Carey in Bellator. Marcus McGhee, he has won all of his UFC fights so far against Journey Newson and against JP Buys. Both of those wins were stoppages. Well, his last 4 wins were stoppages, and I think he's going to get another stoppage right here in this fight. Marcus McGhee, he did prove me wrong. I didn't think he was going to be that great when he first debuted, but he proved me wrong, and he's pretty damn good. Gaston Bolaños, he's all right. I mean, he's not that bad. He's somewhat UFC caliber in my opinion, but I don't think he's going to win this fight. Minus 325, though, for Marcus McGhee, a little bit off. I don't think he should be that much of a favorite. I think he should be like a minus 200 or something like that. But I think he does win this fight. I think this is a step down for Marcus McGhee. This is not a step up. He should be going up in the rankings. But I get it. I get it. They need to give people fights. So I guess Gaston Bolaños said, hell yeah, let's go for it. But I think Marcus McGhee, his power is going to be too much in this fight. And I think he's going to knock him out. 2nd or 3rd round. Marcus McGhee, confidence level is a 7.5 out of 10. And I think he wins this fight. Put him on a parlay. Put him in a parlay with Farid Basharat. I think that's a good parlay right there. That should be plus money. Next fight, ladies and gentlemen, probably not going the distance. Scheduled in the men's welterweight division, we have Matheus Semelsberger versus Preston Parsons. And I believe this is another fight that is going to be short notice. Yeah, because Preston Parsons was supposed to fight Bazel Hafez. Matheus Semelsberger, he is 11-6, 31 years old, 6'1", 75-inch reach. Preston Parsons, 10-4, 28 years old, 5'11", 72-inch reach. This is going to be a very good fight. Sneaky little banger right here on the prelims. Matheus Semelsberger riding a 2-fight losing streak, losing against Jeremiah Wells in a very close split decision fight, and then getting knocked out by Uros Medic, which was crazy to see. Preston Parsons, losing his last fight against Trevin Giles, winning against Evan Elder, and then losing against Daniel Rodriguez. I think this is going to be a very close, very exciting fight. But give me Matheus Semelsberger to win. I think he's going to get it done inside the distance, knockout, TKO, or submission. Most likely knockout, because we know that Matheus Semelsberger, he's a dog and he's got knockout power. He will fight for your money. He does not give up. He can be chinny sometimes. He can get rocked, but he does not quit. He will fight for your money, and that's what I like about him. He's fought the tougher competition, in my opinion, as well. So give me Matheus Semelsberger to win by knockout, TKO, or submission. My confidence level is a 6.5 out of 10. Next fight, ladies and gentlemen, scheduled in the men's heavyweight division, we have the legendary Andrei Arlovski, former UFC heavyweight champion, going against the up-and-coming heavyweight Waldo Cortes-Acosta. Andrei Arlovski, 34-22, 56 fights on his record. That's insane. Riding a 2-fight losing streak. He's 44, almost 45 years old, 6'3", 77-inch reach. Waldo Cortes-Acosta, the salsa boy, he's 10-1, 32 years old, 6'4", 78-inch reach. Arlovski coming in at plus 310 underdog. And salsa boy, Waldo Cortes-Acosta, plus or minus 400 favorite. I think that's insane. That line is totally off. I get it. Andrei Arlovski, he's older. He's slower. He's not the same anymore. He's probably going to retire very soon. He might get cut after this fight if he loses. And I think he's going to lose his fight, unfortunately. I do like Andrei Arlovski. He's a legend of the sport. He's a legend at the UFC, former UFC heavyweight champion. He was deadly back in the day. He was a monster back in the day. And before his 2 losses, he was on a 3-fight winning streak. But there's a huge age difference. 12-year age difference in this fight. The speed difference as well. There's a height advantage and a reach advantage for Waldo Cortes-Acosta. And I think he's going to win this fight. I think that Andrei Arlovski, his age caught up to him. The only way I can see him winning this fight is by a crazy knockout. But I don't see that happening here. So give me Waldo Cortes-Acosta to win by knockout or a decision. Confidence level is a 6 or a 7 out of 10. Next fight, ladies and gentlemen, scheduled in the men's middleweight division. And this fight is not going the distance. I can almost guarantee that. This is a banger right here. We have Phil Hawes versus Brunno Ferreira. Phil Hawes, he's 12-5, 35 years old, 6 foot even, 77.5-inch reach. Brunno Ferreira, 10-1, 31 years old, 5'10", with a 72-inch reach. Phil Hawes, he's fought the tougher competition. He's been in the UFC longer. He's more experienced. But he's riding a 2-fight losing streak. He's an underdog in this fight, a plus 105 underdog. And he can be chinny. He can get knocked out. His last 2 fights, he lost to Ikram Alexeyev, but Ikram Alexeyev is a beast. He's a future champion, and barely anyone can beat him. He also lost to another knockout artist, Roman Dolidze. So those 2 losses are excusable. He did win his last fight to Darren Wynn, then lost again to Chris Curtis, and then won against Kyle Dawkins. So he's a wishy-washy fighter. Won the last 2 out of his 5 fights. Bruno Ferreira is a knockout artist himself. He only has one loss on his record, losing his last fight to Nurzentin Ruzabov. And I guess Nurzentin, he can be something in this division. Can he be a champion? Probably not, but he did win his last fight to Gregory Rodriguez and his Contender Series fight to Leon Aliu. This is going to be a very close, very exciting fight. Someone is going to get knocked out. Someone is going to get finished. And I think Phil Hawes is going to get finished. I believe Bruno Ferreira, his knockout power is going to be too much. Like I said, Phil Hawes can get knocked out. He's chinny. And we've seen him get knocked out 2 times already, to Roman Dolidze and to Ikram Alasarov. And if Bruno Ferreira connects to this dude's chin, he's going night-night. So give me Bruno Ferreira to win by knockout, TKO. Confidence level is a 7. Next fight, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a very fun, very exciting fight. This is going to be a banger. Scheduled in the men's bantamweight division, we have Ricky Simón versus Mario Bautista. Ricky Simón, 20-4, 31 years old, 5'6", 70-inch reach. Mario Bautista, 13-2, 30 years old, 5'9", 69-inch reach. I like both of these guys. I like both of these fighters. And I think both of these fighters have the potential to be a title contender. Ricky Simón, wrestling machine, losing his last fight to Yadong Song by knockout TKO. But before that, he was on a winning streak, destroying everyone in his path. His last 4 fights, he won against Gaetano Perillo. I don't think that guy is in the UFC anymore. He did win against Brian Kelleher. He won against Rafael Sunsao. I don't think he's in the UFC anymore. And then he won against a very good prospect, Jack Shore. So those are all very good, decent wins. And then Mario Bautista, he's on a really good winning streak right now. Winning against Damon Blackshear, winning against Guido Canetti, winning against Benito Lopez, winning against Brian Kelleher, and winning against Jay Perrin. So that's very good wins right there for Mario Bautista. Both of these guys are dogs. Both of these guys will fight for your money. And when it comes to dog or pass in situations like this, I got to go with the underdog who's on a really good winning streak right now. Plus 125 for Mario Bautista. I like that number. Give me Mario Bautista in this fight. I think he gets it done. I know that Ricky Simón's the better grappler, the better wrestler, but every fight starts on the feet, and Mario Bautista is the better boxer, the better striker, and probably the better dog. The more dog in this fight is Mario Bautista. Ricky Simón, though, better cardio, better wrestling, better grappling. So he's got to watch out for those takedowns. If Mario Bautista can stuff 3 or 4 takedowns, I think he can win this fight. So give me Mario Bautista to win by knockout or decision. Next fight, ladies and gentlemen, scheduled in the men's lightweight division, we have Jim Miller versus Gabriel Benítez. Jim Miller, 36-17, 40 years old, 5'8", 71-inch reach. Gabriel Benítez, he's 23-10, 35 years old, 5'8", 71-inch reach. This is going to be a very interesting, very solid fight right here. Both of these guys are veterans in the UFC. Both of these guys have fought everyone in their division, especially Jim Miller. The dude just keeps coming at you. He's a dog. He's a trusted and true veteran in the octagon. He won his last fight against Jesse Butler, losing against Alexander Hernandez. and then winning against Donald Cerrone, winning against Nikolas Motta, and winning against Eric Gonzalez. So Jim Miller, even though he's 40 years old, he still has some fight in him. He still has gas in the tank. And his goal is to reach UFC 300, which is really right around the corner. And I think he can get there. And Gabriel Benítez, his last win was against Charlie Ontiveros 1 year and 4 months ago. So he's taken a long layoff. Then losing to David Onama, losing to Billy Quarantillo, winning against Justin James. I don't think he's in the UFC anymore. And then losing to Omar Morales. So he's only won 2 out of his last 5 fights. I got to go with Jim Miller here. He's the more active fighter. He's fought the tougher competition, in my opinion. He's more experienced. And to me, he's a tougher fighter in this fight. So give me Jim Miller to win. Might throw a bet on him, actually. I like his plus 105 number there. So give me Jim Miller to win by knockout, TKO, or decision. He may even surprise us with a submission in this fight. Give me Jim Miller either way to win. Confidence level is a 6.5 out of 10. Next fight, ladies and gentlemen, is a rematch. And this fight is going to be a very good fight, ladies and gentlemen. We have in the men's flyweight division, Matheus Nicolau versus Manel Kape. Matheus Nicolau, 13-3-1, 31 years old, 5'6", 66-inch reach. Manel Kape, he's 19-6, 30 years old, 5'5", 68-inch reach. Manel Kape, he did lose to Matheus Nicolau in his last fight, and he's a minus 205 favorite in the rematch. I mean, I do think Manel Kape has excelled better than Matheus Nicolau in his UFC career. I think he could be a future champion. Same thing with Matheus Nicolau. I think he could be a future champion as well. He could be a future title contender. Matheus Nicolau ain't no joke. He was on a 4-fight winning streak before his last loss. His last loss was against Brandon Royval, which is not a bad loss because Brandon Royval just fought for the title against Alexandra Pantoja. So then he won against Matt Schnell. He won against David Dvorak, Tim Elliott, and Manel Kape in a split decision. Very close fight almost 3 years ago. But that was 3 years ago. Both of these fighters have evolved. Manel Kape winning his last 4 fights against Felipe dos Santos, winning against David Dvorak, Zhalgas Zhumagulov, and Ode Osborne. This is going to be another very close, very good fight. I agree that Manel Kape should be the favorite due to the momentum, due to the evolution in his career. Man, both of these guys are very good. So if Matheus Nicolau comes in with a heavy wrestling game plan, I can see him winning this fight. But if Manel Kape can keep this on the feet with his boxing, with his striking, I think that Manel Kape can win this fight. I'm going to stay away from this fight money line-wise. I might bet the over. Depending on the line. I hope it's good. Hopefully plus money. But give me Manel Kape to win by decision. Very close fight. I'm staying away money line-wise. My confidence level is like a 5.5 out of 10 for Manel Kape. Might switch my pick. I got to do some more tape on this fight. Because Matheus Nicolau, very good grappler, very good wrestler. He can push the pace. But Manel Kape has very good striking, very good boxing. Probably one of the best boxers in the UFC. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Next fight, ladies and gentlemen, is the main event of the evening for UFC Fight Night, Ankalaev versus Walker 2. Before I give you my pick, before I give you my breakdown, Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to like this video. Comment on the video who your picks are. Your underdog, your locks, whoever you think is going to win the fight. Make sure to comment on the video. It helps me out. It helps the algorithm out. And I'm giving away another $100 once we reach 750 subscribers. I'm gonna do another video right before these fights come on, probably around the 12th of January, of the next contest for the next giveaway for another $100. So congratulations to the winner of the last contest, Prakash. He did win $100. He picked PayPal as the payment. So congrats to you. I hope you enjoy that. I hope you're having a great New Year already, and I hope you're watching this video. The main event for the evening is Magomed Ankalaev versus Johnny Walker 2. Magomed Ankalaev, 18-1-1, 31 years old, 6'3", 75-inch reach. Johnny Walker, 21-7, 31 years old, 6'6", 82-inch reach. Both of these guys are very exciting. Both of these guys can finish. Both of these guys have future title contendership in their futures. Magomed Ankalaev, number 3 in the light heavyweight division. Johnny Walker, number 7 in the light heavyweight division. You can say this is a number 1 contender title fight. Whoever wins this fight might be next for the light heavyweight championship of the world. Magomed Ankalaev, his last few fights have not been that great. They both were draws, once against Johnny Walker and once against John Blachowicz. Then he won against Anthony Smith, Thiago Santos, and Volkan Ozdemir. Johnny Walker draw against Magomed Ankalaev, winning against Anthony Smith, Paul Craig, and Ian Cutelaba, and then losing to Jamal Hill, who is injured right now and is the former light heavyweight champion. This is going to be a very good fight. I do not expect this fight to go the distance. Someone's getting finished. I think Magomed Ankalaev has what it takes to win this fight. I think he's got better wrestling, better striking, better grappling. He's just an overall better fighter. Johnny Walker, though, he's been looking very good before this last draw against Magomed. He's been looking very good in his last 3 fights. He finished Paul Craig and he finished Ian Cutelaba, and he looked very good against Anthony Smith. Johnny Walker does have the height advantage by 3 inches, and he does have a huge reach advantage. What is it, like 6 or 7 inches? Very huge reach advantage. So that's a little bit worrisome there, because we know that Johnny Walker does have wild striking, and he pulls shit out of his ass sometimes with his striking. But when he does connect, he can put your lights out. But Magomed Ankalaev, he's one of the most technical fighters in this division. He's a very good wrestler, and I think he could be a UFC champion someday. So give me Magomed Ankalaev to bounce back from those draws that he's been having, getting another win under his belt. My confidence level is at 8, almost an 8.5 out of 10. He might be my lock of the card. I'm not going to announce who my lock of the card is yet, or my dog of the card. If you want to find out who my lock and my dog of the card is each and every single week, I post it on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. Just follow me on there, folks. CJUFCPicks. So my official pick for this fight is Magomed Ankalaev. And that was the breakdown, ladies and gentlemen. That was the breakdown for UFC Fight Night Ankalaev versus Walker going down on Saturday, January 13th, 4 p.m. Eastern time for the prelims. Thank God it's an early card, early start time for us over here in the Northeast. And hopefully you guys join us here for the next breakdown, which I believe is the pay-per-view, Strickland versus Duplessis. So that's going to be a very good card, very good fight. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for all the support. We're taking over 2024 right here on CJUFCPicks. We're going to hit 1,000 subscribers by summer of 2024. That's my goal, is to hit 1,000 subscribers by 2024. And if we get 750 subscribers, we're going to give away $100 once again. We're going to do the official contest video in a couple days. Drop that in a couple days right before these fights come on. So stay tuned for that. And we're going to take over 2024, guys. So make sure to follow us. TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and right here on YouTube. CJUFCPicks, giving you fire picks and smoking on that fire gas bud. This fire gas weed right here. We're out of here, folks. Thanks so much for joining, and take care.